Hello, fellow Zoids, and anybody else who's listening. Um, Something I want to clarify, something I want to talk about that I think is valuable. Um, and it has to do with the perceptions people have about what I'm doing. The server is, what the channel is. I've heard differing opinions, views, concerns, so on and so forth about the direction in which the channel, the server, and everything else associated to the project as a whole is taking. Other people can donate, other people detracting from certain aspects of it, other people liking some things but not others, other people, so on and so forth. It's an ongoing thing. Um, so I want to clarify, I guess, what my mission statement is. And my mission statement is essentially all of yours to a varying degree of individual priority at any given point, right? So some people want a place that is incredibly focused on the intricacies and the psychology and the meta narrative and the concepts and ideas and the intellectual academia based conversations on the topic of schizoid and what it means, what it presents, getting to metaphysics sometimes, philosophy, and everything else, right? Okay. Other people want a place where they can find others that are relatable to them so that they connect to other people that think differently, they experience life differently, so that they can go somewhere where they don't feel the same kind of fear or apprehension or disgust that they would feel in more normative environments, more neurotypical environments, because of, again, those same issues of incompatibility and confusion, and so on and so forth, a lack of understanding or um, cognitive empathy when it comes to a different sort of person's experience in life, the suffering it often causes, right? So they're looking for solace from a place like that. They're looking for a word that's often used, coziness, right? They're looking for a place where they can actually sit down and relax for once, demask, and just be themselves without concern of being judged or treated like shit by their peers because, or looked upon as an alien or some creature not of this world. So that's the primary concern for some Zoids and people that watch the channel and join on the server. For others, it could be the technical, the mechanical, the how to move forward things, how to improve things, how to make things more efficient, how to, the more pragmatic choices about what direction things should be going in, right? So they want to talk about the things like advocacy, awareness, what actual steps you can take toward improving our station in life, to increasing the perceived value of neurodivergent people, and in this case, schizoids, cluster A's. And so you have those people that have those priorities, those focuses, those interests more than anything else, right? And what I want to clarify is that none of those are less valid than the other. All three are a manner in which a person finds a sense of meaning and peace, right? A sense of purpose, a sense of connection to another fellow human. As I've also mentioned before, things like sharing media, sharing songs, listening to music together, watching video games, and participating in streams together in which you discuss or watch things of personal interests and stuff. That is a manner in which a schizoid can often connect to other people, right? Through these abstract sort of representations about their interpersonal feelings. The schizoid specifically has trouble expressing interpersonal feelings, trouble being an understatement. It feels like an impossibility. But oftentimes it's odd is that were you to ask them, how do you feel about this, or what is important to you. They can give you an answer that they feel confident in. But if you ask them something about a special interest they have, they can give you the intricacies of that special interest, or discuss it, or participate in it, and talk about what they like and don't like about it. And what's interesting is you can find out a lot about them on an interpersonal level based on that. And that is a manner in which schizoids can communicate their suppressed personality, essentially, aspects. And that works for some of us, right? For some of us, it's hobbies. For some of us, it's, big brain sort of intellectual conversation and theory and meta narratives and shit like that. For others, it's focusing on the practical and what can be done, and how can we expend and use the resources, the few resources that we have to expend, to have as much of an impact as possible to our daily lives in some positive respect or another, that can make the suffering lessen upon the individual, or the collective suffering of those who deal with this particular issue. I want to create a server in which all those things are possible. I want to lead a project in which all those things are kept in mind, regardless of how they fit into my own personal value structure. Right? I'll be upfront. I'm the type that likes a mixture of the pragmatic with the meta narrative and conversation theory. Those are the things that help me connect to people too. But also, I understand what people discuss when they say things like wanting a relatable, cozy, comfortable environment in which they feel less alone in the world, and that being such an important emphasis in a way to connect to others. Um, that is impossible generally in normative situations, social situations, and things of that nature. I get that too because I do the same thing, right? When I want to express my feelings about something, or express something interpersonal to another person that I'm okay with doing that, I'm usually not okay with expressing it via like direct vocalization, using language that is associated to like feelings, right? Bothers me, it makes me uncomfortable, and I associate it to so many things that other people do, neurotypical individuals do, that I can't I can't quite comprehend at times or relate to. Right? So it's kind of like being like there's an association creating between those types of words and behaviors, and things that are incompatible to me. So what is compatible? What's easier? So showing somebody a piece of footage, telling them why I like a song, and telling them specifically because maybe what I'm telling them regarding that song is an attempt to connect to them in some abstract fashion. It's a way to do that. And so I understand that as well. But I also do that same thing via the other types of zoids I've come across, the other types of methods and ideas. And I don't want to ignore any of them. They're all so fucking valuable because they are all helping create a domain in which we can actually flourish. And I want to make something else clear. Just because you see an emphasis in one place or another for a period of time doesn't mean that you've been forgotten, or that that type of person has been ignored. What it means is that, maybe there's a slight imbalance. Maybe my own preferences, or the people that I work with, which obviously, considering it's a project that requires a certain pragmatic attitude, sometimes, certain things get imbalanced a little bit. And because of that reason, it's just a matter of discussing it. And I know saying to schizoid, hey, speak up, is like ludicrous, right? But I want you to feel comfortable enough to do that. I'm not sure what I can do to make that happen, but I want you to understand that your opinion, especially if very, concisely, if possible, um, and civilly and constructively it's expressed, it's going to be taken seriously. It's going to be heard. I don't want you guys to ever get to a point where you feel as if you're just being just as misunderstood, misheard as everywhere else in the world. Um, that's not really what I'm going for. That doesn't really help anyone, right? But know that my personal efforts are going to be obviously more focused on uh, this sort of awareness and uh, support, like on a more meta scale, and changes to paradigms pertaining to not just schizoids, but just cognition and things of that nature. And know that even though I place like such a strong emphasis on those things, that my actual goal is to create more, coziness, more of an environment that feels comfortable and safe. Well, if you hear noises in the background, it's a baby toy. Please ignore them. I'm recording this on a no edit ramble, so nothing I can do about it at this point. I'm too deep in. But in any case, my point is don't feel as if I'm abandoning anything during certain periods of change and emphasis with either my channel or the server. Always remember that the main priority is the reduction of loneliness, suffering, things of that nature that we already endure on a daily basis. That is the primary emphasis. And maybe the methods that I use, the directions that I take certain things might not seem to be very good at alleviating or meeting the needs of specific types of zoids, because we're all unique, right? We all have a different way of experiencing it. Even if we're not like this fucking uniform sort of cluster A sort of PD thing, right? Whatever you want to call it, it's a whole can of worms, but we are individual people with individual concerns and priorities that tend to be very abstract concerns and priorities, but they take very different shapes. And regardless of what shape they take, they're just incompatible generally with the normative world. Due to that, we have to stick together. We have to be more understanding of each other and each other's needs, regardless of how unconventional they can be, because all we have is each other. I'm not saying the world has entirely abandoned us, but it doesn't help the way things are shaping out some days, right? And I don't want to make the already abandoned, if you will, feel further abandoned, neglected. Just the thought makes me sick. But yeah, anyway, that's just one thing I wanted to clarify. I probably didn't say everything I needed to say. I probably missed some stuff. I probably will have to speak on it further. In fact, if you're interested in me clarifying any of the points I talked about or anything, just put it in the comments. Ask. Or ask during a stream. Or send me a fucking DM. I don't know. I can clarify things. If anything sounds too vague or confusing. Whatever. What have you. If you believe in the project, if you believe what I'm trying to do, please support me on Patreon. Please, PayPal, whatever. Bitcoin, I don't give a fuck. Just do what you can if you can to support what I'm trying to do. Patreon's the easiest bet. It's more consistent. I want to do this more, as I said, more often. And sorry for not uploading for like a week or so. It's just the evolution has been real fucking rough this last week because of a variety of matters. And it's just so fucking tired. So fucking tired all the time. But I don't have to tell you that. You know what it's like. Okay, guys. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Thanks for listening, and if you're a new listener and have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, check out some of the other stuff. And if you haven't subbed, sub and hit that stupid fucking bell. Otherwise, you don't get my messages. Because now I can post on YouTube, and if I send you a message on there and you don't like using the server, please do the bell thing, because otherwise I can't communicate with you in any capacity other than when you occasionally stumble across me or YouTube decides to show my ugly face on your feed. All right, peace out, guys.